morning, Dr. Pearse.
Good morning.
And Happy New Year to you, sir. Good to have you join us.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about your party. It looks like you are probably one of the few big names left in the PDP. I think by January of 2025, you had about 10, 11 governors. But then by the time that, the year ended, you were left with 4. So you've entered 2026, an important political year with just 4 governors. Mr. Peter Obi, whom people were, the permutations were thinking, maybe he might return to the PDP, given that he might not get the presidential ticket in ADC, and things like that, that maybe that would be the boost that PDP needed. But here we are. He has moved to the ADC. What are your thoughts on what has happened to your party, the pummeling of your party,
sir?
Yes, sir.
Does not determine the results of the presidential candidate.
Agreed.
In 2023, I think the APC had, Tinubu had about 22 governors, and he won only about 12 of those states, not less than 12, about 8 of those states. And Atiku was about the same ratio. We had about 12 governors, and he only won in about 6 or 7 of those states. So it doesn't really count. And of course, the most dramatic...
When it comes to presidential elections.
Yes. The most dramatic example, of course, is Peter Obi, who had no governors at all and won 12 states with governors. You see the point? So it doesn't really matter.
11 states with Abuja.
Yes. Yeah. So, and he had none at all, no governors. So that's not the way it works now. So the number of governors leaving our party is it's dramatic. Everybody is looking at it and say, oh my, these are big names leaving.
Yeah.
The people are with us. Think about this. When Okowa and his governor left in Delta State,
yes,
they went to their people and said, we are going to APC, come and join us. The people say, we are on your own. You can go, we are staying in PDP. The same thing happened with the governor of Akwa Ibom. So all these governors leaving. A terrible example is the governor of Bayelsa. They asked him why he was leaving. He said he was leaving because PDP was a sinking ship. So we asked him, you are the captain of the ship, and you are jumping out of the ship because it's sinking. You should be tried for treason. So this is what is going on. The world is going through a situation of where there is no decency, no principles. I mean, things are just happening haphazardly, and it's shameful. But the PDP is alive and well, believe it or not. You see, because the indication for me is what is going on in the field. We have, our structure is solid. After that National Convention of November 15, 16, 2025.
In Ibadan.
In Ibadan. Everything is in order. The only problem we have now is INEC that is giving recognition to people, our members that we have expelled. I mean, that is the only problem we have.
It's a big problem, isn't it?
It is a big problem. It is not a problem only for the PDP. It is a problem for the question of survival of democracy in Nigeria. It's a question of integrity of our institutions. Where you have INEC, the chairman, I said it before many times, I'm sure you know that, so long as the president, who is going to be competing in the same election, is the one appointing the INEC chairman, we have a problem. So that problem is there. So the INEC chairman has to be above board. Everybody has to see it. So far, Amupiton is behaving just like the one before him, satisfying everything that comes from the political party in power. It's not good enough. So that's a problem for us, but it's a problem for the whole of the Nigeria. And that is a terrible thing to do because the whole international world is watching. If you rig election the way you normally rig it before, you may have Trump coming to get you in your chambers. You may disappear overnight.
You're using Trump to threaten the Nigerian state.
Yes.
That's what you're doing.
Yes. Everybody has to be careful. This is not the first time it's happening. International Criminal Court is there. So be careful what you do. The way they rig election in Nigeria, and no. It's not going to happen again. 2027 is going to be different. So everybody be on the lookout. What we are doing in the PD is making sure that we talk to members of the party. Look, you're right to say ADC is growing, and I'm happy. that ADC is growing.
You're happy for ADC?
Oh, definitely. Because all we want in Nigeria is anybody, any party, ADC or PDP, so long as it's not this APC. From Buhari's 8 years of destruction to another 4 years of Bola Ahmed Tinubu intensifying the destruction of the economy and security of Nigeria and the unity of Nigeria, we want a change. So therefore, eventually we are going to allow, we are going to support.
Saying that so far as it's not the APC.
Yes.
But I remember clearly that that was the slogan too. At the time when there was going to be a change of government from Jonathan to Buhari,
Sure.
it became anything but Jonathan.
Sure.
So if we're continuing like that, are we really getting it right, or we're simply repeating the mistakes of the past?
No. We're saying that, you see, the point is, let us be sincere. What got Jonathan out of office was not because Jonathan was not performing. An illusion of failure was created.
An illusion. The bombs were going off. Boko Haram was very active at
Yes,
that time.
very active.
Car parks were being bombed, churches were being bombed.
That is true,
Nigerians were dying.
But unfortunately, the people behind the whole development of Boko Haram are the people in APC government now, including Buhari himself.
Yeah, that's an allegation.
Yes, it is an allegation, and I make it boldly to be sued. Anybody can take us to court on it.
Because we are still having terror attacks.
If
you say they were the sponsors and they are now in government, so how come we're still having the terror attacks?
That is why they cannot stop the terror attacks, because they are in collusion with the terrorists. That is the issue.
It's an allegation that
it is an allegation, and I'm not the only one making it, and this is not the first time that it's been made.
Since it cannot be proven, maybe
Three
we should
things that the
refrain from
American government has asked the Nigerian government to do to avoid the kind of thing that has happened to them in Venezuela. One, you release, what's his name? Is he Jack or Jackson, the guy that was arrested defending himself? Release him. Number two, publish the name of people who are sponsoring terrorism. They haven't done that. They can't do it. Because if you publish those names, most likely Shetima will be on that list. Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself will be on the list.
Those are allegations that you cannot prove.
Look, during the Boko Haram incident that got rid of Jonathan.
You can't prove those allegations. No, but, and you do not know for a fact that America has asked for such a list to be published.
No. That is a fact.
No, we don't know that.
Well, that is a fact that the list must be published. The third thing is that you must end terrorism in your country. Attacks on Christians and non-Muslims and non-supporters of extremists. All the killings, the terrorism, the insecurity must end. Those are the three things.
Which is why the Nigerian government is working with the American government.
So they say. Yes, so they say. But the bombings in Sokoto, look, we have a serious problem. This government has failed in so many ways. We have outsourced our economy to France. Our tax data is in France. It is not under our control. Our security is under the control of the Americans. Do you know that when you go and bombing in Sokoto, this is not a question of Nigeria alone? You are facing all those countries in the Sahel that have liberated themselves. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. That is the target. You have exposed all those people to attacks from America because you are looking for a way out in Nigeria. So we have sold out Africa. We have sold out our home country under this administration. This administration must go. And we are not doing what they did in 2015, which is to say they are going to form a parallel government if Jonathan doesn't leave, if he doesn't leave the office. The people who made that comment, those are terrorists, political terrorism, to say you will form a parallel government, otherwise you blow everything up. They're the same people who encourage Boko Haram to terrorize until the Chibok girls and all these stories until Jonathan left. Now Jonathan left, now you are in power. For 8 years of Buhari, disaster. Another 4 years of Tinubu, intensified disaster in our country. The economy, security, the unity of the country. No, politicians have never been more distrusted. and hated in Nigeria than today.
All right, Dr. Pearse, if you say that, I mean, it's within your right to not to want APC to continue. I mean, that's politics. But then if you say that there should be a change and the APC must go, what leverage does your party have, given that it is factionalized, given that you have not even declared whether you will work with ADC and a few other parties to ensure that there is a true coalition that can confront APC?
The ADC is forming its coalition.
Yes.
A lot of people are going into ADC.
Will you go?
That is good.
Will you go?
The PDP is strong enough.
Of course it is not strong enough.
Look, well, that's you said it's not strong enough. But you are not a member of the party, you don't know the workings of the party. And I'm telling you as an insider that we are strong. You know why we are strong?
Why?
Every neighborhood, every nook and corner, we have our structure in place. Every ward.
In Lagos?
Every local, in all Nigeria.
In Lagos?
In Lagos, of course.
You had less than 60,000 during the last election.
Well, last election, we had a disaster because there was infighting and we were sabotaged from within. You know the story. We had an agent from APC who came into PDP and we made the error of electing him our governorship candidate. And he worked against us from within, and we had many problems during that election.
Well, you can't prove that he was an agent of the APC.
No, he has come himself and said it. He has gone back to ADC, to APC, and said that he came there to work against us. That's already proven. Anyway, whatever happens, we had saboteurs within our party, unfortunately. Where we stand now,
yes,
after the National Convention of November 2025
yes,
in Ibadan, we have a national structure. The National Working Committee of 18 members is in place, is solid. We have a national chairman. I'm sure you've heard him, you've seen him in action. We are focused and we are very, very sure that Nigerians have an opportunity to vote for us. There will be a change for the better for all of us. When we have our national primaries, the reason why so many people, including, of course, Wike, working for the government, he said he was working for APC to make sure Tinubu comes back. He didn't want us to have the convention because he knew that once we have that convention, that was the end of APC. That is the beginning of the victory of PDP in 2027. Now we've had the convention. That's why now even INEC is fighting us. They don't want to recognize, some people don't want to recognize that convention. They know that that convention has put PDP on the path of victory in 2027. The next thing for us now, once the schedule, the timetable is out, and we go for our national primaries, whoever emerges as a presidential candidate of the PDP, mark my word, is going to be the next president of Nigeria, because there's nothing on ground to challenge us. Is it this APC that is failed? ADC is still in formation. By the way, if Obi goes to ADC, as he has gone,
yes,
and he doesn't get the presidential ticket there, then it will confirm my suspicion, which a lot of people have voiced before me, that is a saboteur. He's working to make sure that APC gets back in government, that PDP doesn't win the election. Otherwise, the same thing he did in 2023.
You have so many conspiracy theories.
Yes.
Allow me to come in here. You seem to be throwing a lot of conspiracy theories in the air. But you haven't talked about some critical issues that also led to your party suffering several losses at national elections. You haven't talked about the lack of internal democracy. You haven't talked about money politics. You haven't talked about selection of candidates, godfatherism within the PDP. We know all these issues. Your lack of respect of the zoning arrangement, that caused the problem in your party in 2023. You haven't talked about all those issues. Instead, it seems you are focused on imaginary things that you cannot really substantiate.
We're not talking about why we lost the election in 2023.
No, but you should reflect and clean house if indeed you want to win
have done
in
that.
2027.
Well, that's why I'm telling you where we are now. It is because we have done all of that we had a lot of problems going into the convention. We cleared all those challenges and went into the convention. So we have solved that problem.
You came out of the convention factionalized.
No.
And your faction, you have admitted, is not even recognized by INEC.
No. We did not come out of the convention factionalized.
You didn't?
No. That is an illusion. A wrong impression.
You suspended Wiki, you suspended Fayose, you suspended a number of people.
11 of them. That is not factionalization. We cleaned house. These were people that have been suspended. Now we expel them. That is part of the house cleaning that we were doing to get ourselves focused and united. Those who are not with us, go. The ones that are left, let us rebuild. That's what we did. So it's not a faction. What is a faction? Out of 18 members of a committee, that is National Working Committee of the PDP, 14 of them decided to suspend 4 of them. The 4 now went and said they were suspending the 14. That is a joke. Now, it's a travesty. Now, what happened after all of that? All our organs in the PDP came to the National Convention. Over 3,000 delegates came to the convention from all over the states.
Convention that was not observed by INEC?
Representing everybody in the party. The greatest, strongest organ of the party came together and decided on what to do. They elected a strong National Working Committee. They decided to expel saboteurs within the party, clean house, get yourself focused, ready for 2027. That's what we did. So there's no faction. If Wiki wants to say, this is a person who's been expelled, I am all the people expelled from the party, do we have a right to expel people from our party? Sure we do. So if INEC says you cannot expel them, then INEC is doing the devil's work. And we are not going to stand for it. And it's not going to stand. You say INEC did not come to a convention. What was necessary for us to do, according to the constitution of the country and the parties, is that INEC must be notified 21 days before. INEC doesn't have to be there physically, so long as it's notified. That is why we were able to have that convention. And by the way, we had legal authority to have the convention.
Dr. Pearse, with respect, sir, I don't know if you will be running for any elections in 2027, but I know that the main reason why those who will be seeking elective posts, particularly the governors, the reason why they gave 1, 2, 3, 4, more people gave was that they feared that their election, if they prosecuted on the platform of the PDP, might be thwarted by INEC and other courts. That's what Oborowori said for Delta. That's what Umueno said in Akwa Ibom. That's what even Adeleke, who couldn't get to any other party, had to go to a court. Why would he leave PDP if PDP was safe for him to run an election? But you are not likely going to seek an elective position. But those who understand the implications are saying that...
Wait. So you leave the PDP.
Yes.
You go to the APC to seek election.
Yes.
Because the APC controls the INEC.
No, because there are no internal issues within APC.
No. Look. To borrow the words of Wiki himself, you are leaving a party that has malaria. You are going to a party that has cancer. That's exactly what is going on. Look. I hate to say it, but all those governors, those are lame excuses. Lame excuses. Look at what happened to Adeleke. Adeleke is a good example of the argument that doesn't stand at all, that you don't know whether they're going to stand. What happened? After Adeleke left, they had the primaries for the governorship in his state, and somebody won the primaries, and now we are waiting to see. The Supreme Court has said that these issues we are talking about are internal issues of the party and should be left to the party. So all we are doing is waiting for the final word from the Supreme Court. And we are sure if we did not have a party, if we don't have the National Convention, then it would be futile for us to argue, to go to the Supreme Court. But now we have a party in place, And we are going to wait for the Supreme Court judgment, which will clear us and say, whatever we decide, if we decide you are not a member of a party, you are not a member of a party, it's our decision. If we decide that this is how we are going to do our primaries, so long as we fulfill certain basic conditions of the constitution of the INEC and the party, we move ahead. I am telling you, we are going to be fine because everything is okay in the PDP. The only challenge we have is INEC, whether they're going to ratify us, but eventually the Supreme Court will clear us and we are going to be okay. So all those people running away, they are running away from party, they are running away from frying pan to fire.
All right, Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse, we want to thank you. We take your word for it that PDP will be fine in the new year 2026. We wish you the very best. Thank you for joining.